You
the
guys,
water. Got the
hey
water.
guys, when he tells us everything he's going to tell us, remember self as God, because everything in here that he's going to tell us is about people making self God, or us, the parts of us that self is God. They had everything to pamper to self.
Do you have a main square in your city?
Yeah. Some places.
Do you have football stadium?
Yeah, we do.
Do you have theater?
Yes.
All right there.
Okay, so actually our cities today are following the Greeks and the Roman cities. There was a guy in 2,600 years ago in ancient Greece called Hippodamos, and that's why it's called hippodamic structure. He wrote a book called Miltos. Miltos means flat. How to design and to build the city. You put the grid, you divide four squares, and you build the city. So you enforce it on the topography. And notice that the center of the city is dedicated to public use buildings. Okay, that was never before. What's the idea behind it? The city demonstrates what is the correct order for humans. What is the most important? The public before the individual. Every city in the Greeks and later the Roman world had exactly the same facilities. So whatever city you're going to visit in the Greek and the Roman world, you will find a theater. You will find the agora, the main market. Where's my stick? The agora, the main market. You will find the gymnasium. Yes? The gymnasium.
Gymnasium.
The gymnasium for the naked kids,
Yes.
wrestling, pumping iron,
Running. Yeah.
learning, libraries. You must finish the gymnasium to be a citizen in the city. So you will get your civil rights. If you don't do that, you won't get any civil rights. You're not a citizen. You're not a citizen. So that's where you educate everybody. That's the chariot racing area. And above all, the gods, the temples, the Acropolis. There were many temples, not just one. Okay? The shopping street, the Cardo, the country club, the bathhouse. Reminds our cities a little bit?
Yeah.
The theater, the shopping mall, the Sigma. So again, the purpose of those cities was to create the unity of the empire and to express it. And now I'm jumping to the time of Jesus, when the Romans conquered the land and appointed Herods to be the client king of Rome. Herods and the Herods after him built many cities all around the land of Israel. They built Jerusalem for the Jews. They built Caesarea for the non-Jews. They built Samaria for the Samaritans. They allow all the Decapolis to build their cities, and they built many, many cities. And what's the idea over here? Integration. To bring the province of Judea and bring those barbarian Jews into the arms of the Roman Empire. So Herod was more Roman than the Romans. And in Jesus' time, he built a lot of those facilities so the locals will adopt the Roman culture. So Jesus' time was a new culture. So what we're going to do over here, most of what you see over here is not dated to Jesus' time, it's a little bit after. But that's the best example we can give you for a Roman character city, and there were cities like this in Jesus' time. Just Jesus' time city is buried under. Okay? So we're gonna make a walk in town. It's kind of an introduction to the Roman time in the time of Jesus. So we're gonna make a walk in town. We're gonna do walking and talking. First we'll take you to a theater show, then we'll take you to the country club, then to the shopping street and the mall, okay? And maybe something else on the way. Probably coming back over here in about 45 minutes time. Shall we? Oh. I'm standing at the entrance to the theater. What you're about to see is 1/3 of the theater that used to be. That's why I'm standing here, okay? You see those black basalt pillars? They used to support the upper seating area that was right over my head. So that's the entrance to the theater, and the sitting area was up there, and what you're about to see is only the middle part that survived, okay? And we're gonna walk and talk. You can see that the foundations are made from dark color, hard basalt rock, the local rock over here, but from the outside it was beautifully decorated with this white limestone. And everything was highly decorated and add colors to your imagination. Please, probably colorful as well. So white was considered beautiful. They didn't see the black stone, only white from the outside. The walls probably had plaster with beautiful, colorful wall paintings.
So echoes.
Oh, wow.
That is a wow.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. The boxes. The skybox. No, but the really good seats are actually down there.
Wow.
Yes, the Greek theater, that's where the place of the orchestra. But for the Roman theater, that's the place for the VIP people. And you had numbers on those seats. Like you have reserve seats. But again, if you look up there, okay, everything until the level that you are standing on was found buried by the archaeologists. So everything was covered with earth. The limestone seats that were above the surface were removed and taken throughout the centuries for the purpose of creating plaster. You remember the temple in Jerusalem that was burned? Because the limestone will burn. Okay, the limestone will burn and will crumble, and you can make plaster out of it. So people took it and reused it. And just to remind you, it used to be twice higher than what you see here. The entire upper seating area is missing. So it was twice higher than the highest that you see now. Oh, that's the falcons. Making love. Sorry, that's the sound.
His wife was just telling that.
That's the sound that you're listening to. Springtime, it's biblical.
Yes.
Now, what you see over here.
He misses his
That's
toy.
a swallow.
Sounds like swallows.
No, but that's the falcon. The castrel, or how you call it. Now, if you look over there, you can see the stage, and look at the backstage. The backstage wall, skin of France, was as high as the highest seat. Okay, so they couldn't see the view. There was a big stage wall, and imagine this incredible front, and people sitting over here, and every city had a theater like this. Now, in the classic times, classic tragedies, classic comedies. In the Roman times, more vulgar displays. The Romans didn't care about the classic tragedies and classic comedies. That was boring, okay? They had more brutal displays, involved nudity, real violence. I'm just trying to put you in the Roman state of mind. Just one quick example. You remember the story about, what's his name? Oh my God, Icarus that was flying away, escaping the Minotaur, the father made for his son wings, and they flew too close to the sun, and the sun melted his wing, and he fell down and crashed. So they took his place, put him on a big plane, and when it's time to fall, they crashed the plane. Okay? Very, very realistic. I actually remember the episode at Caesarea when Agrippa was talking to the people of Tyre and Sidon, and people called him God, and he didn't rebuke them, and he was eaten by worms because they were used this place, yes, a place for gathering. And maybe that's where Paul, when Paul was preaching and convincing them, he did it probably in a setup like this. So maybe those places were first built for all kind of vulgar displays, but they were used by the early Christians also to make debates and to talk about, you remember Moses and this and the Father, and all those teaching happens in the theaters like that. This is it. We want to continue. Oh, one more thing I need to say. Everything that looks old is old. Everything that looks new is new. You see, everything that looks old is old. Everything that looks new is new. And the purpose over here of the Archaeological Department of Israel is to reconstruct as much as possible, so you will have a better understanding of how the city may look like. So every time you come and revisit Beit Shean or Decapolis, you will see more and more and more. The idea is to restore as much as possible.